Thanks for listening to Two Girls, One Plant.
We're your hosts, Madison
and Jillian, and this week we're talking about IKEA greenhouse cabinets.
Ooh, this is gonna be a fun one.
They're so hyped right now. Like, everybody wants one.
But it's worth it, kind of, sort of. We both have them.
We do.
And I'm obsessed. I'm fully get why everybody is so into them, and everybody is just running out to buy these cabinets from IKEA.
Yeah, totally. I mean, especially in Denver, it's incredible to bring the greenhouse in and give all these tropicals the perfect environment in your home.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about ours. We're really going to give advice for building one of these bad boys. But first,
this episode of Two Girls, One Plant is brought to you by Gabriella Plants, where they are always growing more. Looking to shop for quality plants without leaving the house? Head to GabriellaPlants.com to place your order now.
But first, let's have a catch up. What's new? What's the haps?
Oh my gosh. Girl.
She's doing a dance.
Alex's birthday is coming up.
Yeah.
And I somehow convinced him that the best birthday gift for him was a huge, actually 2 in one pot, huge euphorbiamex.
It's so pretty.
Oh my God.
It's so pretty.
It's so tall. I had to ride with it between my thighs on the floor of the car.
Ooh.
And it almost touched the roof of his new car. He was upset. So I had to lean it, and hold it with rags around the sides so I didn't get pinched. Oh, it was a thing.
That sounds amazing, though.
It's beautiful.
It is a thing of beauty, for sure.
Yep.
I think it's been a long time coming. I had a feeling the day would come when you guys would finally just get a big ass fucking euphorbia or cactus.
Ugh, we've been wanting one.
That is such an Alex plant,
right
to the most, that also benefits you.
I love it. What a good birthday gift. For him, y'all.
For him. It's not for Jillian. No. It is for Alex. But also, Jillian just gets the benefit of having the plant. Okay.
It was great. How about your
That's
week?
Cool. This week's been kind of boring, but I did have something really fun happen on Sunday this last week. So there is a local shop here in Denver called Awakening Boutique.
Ooh.
And have you heard of them?
I know of them.
Okay.
I know it's going to be a sexy story.
Yes. So they posted on their Instagram a few weeks ago that they were looking for models for this new product that they were getting, and clothing to models.
And Madison was hit me up.
Listen, I am trying to not be, it's really hard to explain. And even I have a hard time explaining it, but I don't want to be body positive. I just want to be body accepting. So it's just this is my body. I don't need to say that it has tiger stripes. I don't need to say that it, my moles are angel kisses. I don't want to justify it into a positive thing, because then people who look at it, and I don't know. Anyway,
you don't want cheesy cliches?
No, I don't like them. I'm sorry. And it works for some people, and that's totally fine. For me, it does not work, though. So for me, I am all about body acceptance, and I really accept my body. Everybody's I'm going to get skinny this year. I'm bitch, I want to get thick. I want to be a thick bitch. So
I want to be comfortable and healthy.
Yes,
What's
that's how I feel. So I was I really want to try for this. And they responded, and we set it up, and I modeled some panties and some shirts and some dildos and vibrators. And
that sounds fun.
But it was really cool. So what they did was, the photographer, his name is Auto Shotgun, I think, at Auto Shotgun. We'll link him. But he does amazing work. And he had this set up with 2 lights, and when he would take a picture, they would flash, but it had color shields on it. So it creates colorful shadows, and it created 3 shadows of your body.
Ooh.
Oh, and they're so cool. So I will be posting it on Instagram.
Ooh, I can't
when
wait.
they send them. So look for me and my sexy self working it, bitch.
Love it. Honestly, I've seen some gorgeous boutique photos, and women that are women that we know and love, who I'm not going to name on the podcast, but are not feeling it and not feeling super great.
Totally.
And those pictures are the best reminder.
And that's a lot of
how
the
good you are.
People who went and did this photo shoot were very alt, tattooed, identify cis, trans, women, non-binary, short, tall, skinny, fat, all in between, colorful people. And I was just just like, I need to be a part of this.
Yeah, we love a full spectrum
Because that's
photo
what they're
shoot.
about too, is they are a very sex positive and queer positive pro BLM shop as well. So check them out. We're a little free promo for them. They're awesome. I love them.
It sounds like such a fun experience.
It was really cool. Yeah. So anyway, that is me. Let's talk about the IKEA greenhouse. Let's real quick before we really get into this is something that I was not aware of, is IKEA is on the naughty list a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, like most large corporations, they don't do everything on the up and up, and they need a lot of wood to produce so many pieces of furniture that most people only keep for 2 to 3 years and have to buy again. So yeah, they definitely buy from some companies doing some illegal harvesting.
Yeah, which is really sad. Most of it's in like Romania. There's a lot of deforestation happening there. Yeah. So there's, you know, this argument where it's like, how can you support a company that illegally sources wood? And it's like, totally, that makes so much sense. But, you know, we were talking before this and we were saying like, while that makes sense for the tiers of socioeconomic class, a lot of people don't have a choice to go buy furniture somewhere else. I don't have the choice to go spend $1,000 on a dresser or a bed frame or shelves. Like, I don't. Like,
yeah, it's really the argument of like where that responsibility lies. Like, does it lie on the company to be ethical in where they source it, or us as consumers to like struggle to find alternatives when they have almost a monopoly on this market of like fast furniture?
Totally. And there's other companies. It's not just IKEA, right?
No.
Like there's Wayfair, Amazon. Like we could go all day about these companies that are not as ethically responsible. Maybe have a little bit of greenwashing with their, what they're like trying to accomplish. Like they're like, we're environmentally friendly and we care about the earth and these initiatives. It's a little bit of greenwashing. They're pandering a little bit. However,
a little bit.
Again, it goes into socioeconomic class and privilege with that. It's the same as like shaming larger people for buying fast fashion, right? They don't have a choice because that's where their sizes are. It's like, I would love to shop more at thrift shops, but I can't find things in my size. It's so hard. And at least things that like I can find it, but it's not cute.
Right.
It's not fun. It's not colorful. It's like, I don't want to look like my grandma's shoe. So it's like that same thing of like that privilege. So it's something to be aware of. Obviously, do what you want with your money. Nobody should shame you for it. Like,
no, if you can afford to buy like a heavy, you know, glass cabinet that's going to last you decades and you're going to keep forever, like that's amazing. If you can build one, that's incredible. Yeah. And for those of us that can't, IKEA greenhouses provide a lot of benefits inside the home. Yeah. And they may still want to go out and buy one or try to source one from another popular company like Wayfair or Amazon. And that's okay. We're not going to shame anybody either way.
Absolutely not.
But we still want to talk about, you know, the benefits that they do provide and how to put one together, whether you're buying one at a big box store or you're building one yourself.
Totally. Yeah, totally. So we're going to break it down a little bit by categories, and everything we talk about today, everything from the cabinet to the humidifiers, everything is going to be linked in the show notes. We're way ahead of you. We're going to link everything, and we're going to link everything that is extra. So things that we don't talk about, we're still going to give you options as far as like price range. Now, the price on everything that we're going to talk about, I'm going to be real with you, is you get ready to make a little bit of an investment, okay? With everything, bottom line, you're looking anywhere between, I don't know, $200 to $400 easy. That's probably what I spent on everything for mine. But let's talk about what we have real quick.
Yeah.
So what is your setup?
Okay, so my setup actually isn't from IKEA because there was no way to order one, and I ended up looking around for alternatives. Yeah. And found one that was available through Amazon by a company that I think is called like Picket House. Yeah. Whoever they are. You know, but it's cute. It kind of fit the decor of the living room, which is what we were going for because we were turning the plant room into the podcast space. Totally. So it's all white with all glass walls. So you can see it all the way around. It's super tall. I measured the dimensions of that strip of wall. So I knew exactly how wide and how tall I wanted it to be, and just found basically the tallest one they had. Nice. Okay. And then it has a few shelves that are kind of divided up. So there are kind of a range of sizes I can put. So like, for example, I have a couple of taller spaces where I have like trellis plants, like my Rhapidifora tetrasperma.
Which is so great.
So it worked out pretty well.
They're like alternating shelves too. Like will it be like closed and then there'll be like a half shelf like going across, which is like so cool.
Yeah, it gives it like balance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I did kind of look out. It's in a space that gets a lot of light. So I didn't add any additional lighting. And I put a little humidifier in there. It's absolutely tiny. It's just like something cordless that I can plug in over the winter when our heaters are running. And honestly, it's such a powerful little humidifier that it doesn't matter that my edges aren't sealed.
Okay.
Because it's still like mad humid inside.
Do you have a hydrometer in yours?
I do. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And
I took the one out that was in here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha. What is it? Do you know what it usually reads?
I mean, honestly, when my humidifier's in there, it's tiny, but like it'll get it up to like 80%.
Yeah, I saw that thing running before I was like, damn. And like it was shooting out. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll just leave it closed. It'll run for a few hours and then I'll charge it and refill it. Yeah, it works. It's not a very complicated setup. It wasn't super expensive. The biggest investment was like the case itself.
Yeah.
Everything else is, all I really bought was a humidifier, which was pretty cheap. So
how much was your case?
So my case itself was probably right around like $250.
$250. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
just a little on the higher end.
That is, but for how big it is and how much shelf space and space in general, that's actually not bad for that size.
And I knew that was going to be like the one and only. Like all the plants I wanted were going to have to fit into it. So size was really what I was going for.
Cool. That's awesome.
What about your setup? You have two, right?
Oh, I have two of them. So I have the FABRIKÖR ones, the highly coveted. So I went to IKEA and I was like, I want these. I want these. I want these. So they did not have the colors I wanted. They had like yellow and like green. And I was like, it's not going to match my furniture and my aesthetic and my apartment.
It's a big deal.
I wasn't about to splurge on something I did not want. Like, I'm not going to drop $200 on something that I was just not a fan of. So I was like, I'm going to wait. Yeah. So Jillian's pulling up right now. So I have the FABRIKÖR. I have the short and fat one, and I have the tall and skinny one. So I had I bought the tall and skinny one because that's all they had available, and I got it in black. And I went down to the as is section of IKEA as I was leaving.
Clever.
And there it was, the short and fat one sitting right there, fully assembled for $20 fucking dollars.
Wow, really?
Yes. Here's the biggest tip I can give you for this whole fucking podcast. Go look at the as is section of your local IKEA.
Where they already put that shit together for you.
And it's hella cheap.
Discounted.
And the only reason why it was returned was because they lost the keys. So we'll talk about this, but it comes with keys and it locks. But because I was buying a new one, it has 2 sets of keys. You guys, so I basically spent $200 on 2 cabinets.
What a steal.
And people were like DMing me on Instagram. They're like, I will buy it from you. I was like, hell no. These are my cabinets. Ugh.
A steal.
A steal. So I lucked out that day. IKEA was looking down on me and saying something in Swedish and blessing me. So I don't care. So I have that. They both have humidifiers in them. They both have grow lights in them. And I have a fan in one of them right now. So
nice.
But we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we want to first also shout out to IKEA Greenhouse Cabinet. They're on Instagram. We got a lot of this information from their Instagram account, a lot of my own research through Google, on YouTube. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of YouTube videos on this. So
no.
It's good luck trying to find something because I was like wanting to get ideas and I found one video that was like actually pretty legit, but a lot of it is like dudes setting up these cabinets to put like their action figures in.
That's not what I expected.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's really what it is. It's like like little cartoon action figures. So anyway, so if you want to learn and have like good visual aids, go check out IKEA Greenhouse Cabinet on Instagram.
Yep.
But let's get into our first category. We're going to talk about the cabinets. Oh God. I'm like, what was that? Don't you love our new setup?
We're
We
just throwing
sound
shit
so
around.
crisp, and like we touch like these metal things, and like it's so much like reverb. We're still figuring it out, but we still love it. We're grateful. Anyway, cabinets. Do you want to talk about the cabinets?
Yeah. Well, I know you told us a little bit about the FABRIKÖR one because that's the one that you have, the 2 versions. Super cute, obviously metal edging and matte glass shelves. Very like industrial, modern looking.
Yep.
There's also the MILSBO, which is really popular. That one's super tall and wide. It doesn't come in like funky colors like yours. It comes, because I think blue and yellow are really cute. This one just comes in the white and black.
Yeah.
But again, is like super tall and wide, so you can fit a lot in there. It has 3 glass shelves in there.
Yeah.
And then it also has like the doors to close it and a lock.
Yeah.
And then the last one is, I don't know.
DETOLF.
DETOLF. I don't know. I'm sorry. And that one is really tall and skinny. It is a little bit smaller, so it's a little less expensive. So especially if you don't have too many plants and they're not too tall, that's a really good one.
Yeah.
Just to give you a little more space. And then that one comes in white or like black brown. And yeah, it still has the glass shelving, which is really important. And we'll kind of get into that. And then the doors close, but instead of a lock, it has a magnet to seal it closed.
Yeah. So it's one of those doors that you have to like push and then it opens.
Okay, like your kitchen cabinets, you know?
Yeah. And we're going to talk about all 3 of these a little bit more specifically when we get into other details and like whether you should use like weather stripping for one and not weather stripping for the other. But look at like, you know, these dimensions too. It's going to go into and play into like, you know, if you want to get different types of shelving, which we're going to talk about as well. And there are not a lot of colors now. These are just like flying.
Yeah, they've become really popular, especially this year. Everybody's inside. Winter is coming, and that's not a Game of Thrones joke. Like, literally.
Yeah.
So
I work at Whole Foods and we do Amazon returns, and this guy returned some grow lights, and I was like, oh, what do you grow? He's like, actually, I bought some grow lights for my IKEA greenhouse that I'm building, but they were the wrong size. I was like, oh my God. That's so weird. I have 2 cabinets
funny.
too. What are your? And then he was like, I don't want to talk to you. And I was like, okay.
rude.
I wanted to talk and gab about plants. I wanted to know what he was putting in there. I wanted to like make a plant friend. He was not into it.
Honestly, I asked a few people before I bought mine because I've seen at garden centers, they also sell like the cheaper greenhouses that have like the green vinyl on them.
Yeah.
You know?
Like the tarp.
Yeah. And I asked a few people for their opinion to see if that might be better. But so many people recommended the IKEA greenhouse. Like it just seemed like the better solution.
Yeah. I think it also has to do with like aesthetics.
Yeah, it does look a lot nicer.
I don't want no green ass looking tarp motherfucker sitting in my living room. Like we walk in and he's just like, what am I like at a nursery? Like, don't get me wrong. Like I want my house to look a little jungly, but not like, not
you can't
cute.
you can't even look into it to see the plant. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah. I don't know. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
So anyway, tell us a little bit about like layout, because we're talking about aesthetics and kind of how you can get it to look exactly the way you want.
So for the layout, this is where you can get like really creative, right? This is where you can really let your imagination run wild. There's so much you can do. So you can make it really simple with just the glass shelf inserts that it comes with. That's what mine are. So you can do that, sit it in there and be done with it. Or you can put like a pegboard, and I think it's the SKÅDIS is what it's called from IKEA, but it's a pegboard and there's like little cups and things and hangers and shelves that you can put on the pegboard in the back part of the cabinet. So you can hang more plants and like little propagation jars and things like that. So there's the pegboard. You can also get moss and you can lay it through the back part of the cabinet. And with that, it holds more moisture, so more humidity. You can also get moss poles and like put it up against like some wiring towards the back as well. And then you just have a moss pole literally on the wall of the cabinet and have a plant just grow up the front part of the cabinet. That's like cool. All along it would be really cool. You can add little small shelves here and there, like, you know, those like spice rack shelves.
Oh yeah, it's just something
you could
small.
Put something in there like off to the side to have more just like height difference and something something to draw the eye to.
Yeah, you're really just limited by your imagination. You can do all kinds of stuff with it and make such great use of the space, adding like a pegboard or something like that to go vertical.
Yeah, you totally could. Put some spag in it too. I see it all the time, like those, the orchid cups, and then you put some spag, put your plant in it, and then you can hang it to the moss. So you
cute.
Put the netting over the moss and then you can tie it to it.
Gosh, people are so clever.
Isn't that so cool? There's so much you can do. So really, again, go to the IKEA Greenhouse Cabinet Instagram for a really great inspiration on like what is going to look good in your house, what you want, and also like think of too, like what plants you have. So like we're going to talk about shelves here in a minute, but you know, if you have a really tall plant, you know, or a really big plant and you want to put in your cabinet, that's going to, you know, vary on what you're going to do in your cabinet. So think about what you want to put in there, and that's really going to help with your layout. Is it going to be like a little mospital where you rehab your plants? You know, is that what it's going to be? Or is it going to be something for your big boys? Is it going to be something for all your anthuriums?
Yeah, you got to strategize.
You got to strategize. So that's a little bit on the layout. Let's talk shelves. You may have noticed today we're sponsored.
We've been fans of Gabriella Plants since we joined the community, watching it grow from Etsy to the #1 pink princess provider in the world.
Yeah, we said it. The variegation and quality cannot be beat. That's why we've both ordered our philodendron pink princesses from them.
Not only that, but every plant they sell is of the highest quality when it comes to online plant shops.
They put the most care into their packaging and shipping so you can get your plant baby safely.
Shane and his team have inventory updates every Wednesday, so set your timers. Or check for ghost updates every weekend.
From alocasia to calathea, they're always growing more. Let's talk shelves.
Well, shelves are honestly pretty simple.
Yeah.
I know earlier we mentioned that most of them come with glass shelves, and the reason that's particularly helpful is because it can't rot out like wood with all of the humidity and watering and things that you're going to put it through.
Yeah, don't put wood anywhere near this, please.
No, especially with your plants on top, just weighing down on it. So glass is ideal. You can also do wire shelving, which is helpful. It's going to allow the air to circulate a lot better than the glass would, which is going to, you know, increase humidity and airflow. So definitely a positive.
Yeah, definitely. And for those as well, like there is like the Rubbermaid linen shelf. So we're going to drop some brands and like things to look at. But Rubbermaid linen shelf is awesome. It's the most popular one. It costs $19. You can get it from Home Depot. You can get it on Amazon. It's actually $13 on Amazon. So, but for this one, it's talking more about the FABRIKÖR. But to save some money in the long run, you should really just get like a big ass shelf and cut it to size. And typically the size you want to cut it to is about 26 inches for the FABRIKÖR. That's the one we're specifically talking about. But you just save so much more money by doing that.
Yeah, and with any shelf you have, you're just going to measure it out. Like that's really all they're doing for the FABRIKÖR. It's almost like lining your kitchen cabinets.
Yeah.
Like you're really just measuring it and cutting as you go to use as much of it as possible.
Yeah, totally. And like another good little pro tip is if you're cutting these, like the metal is now exposed on that shelf. So it's a good idea to put either some rust paint over it so it won't rust because it's sitting in a moist environment. So it is going to rust over time. Or you can get these little end caps for your shelves so it'll help prevent the glass from scratching.
Oh, nice.
And also rust. You can put it over it and it's like $2 on Amazon. It's so cheap.
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, it's not bad. You can also get it's the right angle brackets. You know, you're like, okay, what am I going to put these shelves on? Right? Because the glass shelves just go into the inserts, these little holes that are like inside the cabinet. For the wire shelvings, they can't do that. So you have to buy right angle brackets and then you lay that on top and then you can just zip tie it and it works great. I'm ready for like some wire shelves.
Yeah, just to add some extra shelving in there.
Well, yeah, and just like I feel like the air circulation is good, but it's not great. I've noticed like my plants are almost too moist for too along a little bit. Like it's pushing a little bit, so I don't water as much in there, but now they're not getting watered as much, and it's like this weird balance I'm finding. So I feel like air circulation is going to be the answer.
Yeah.
Oh, wish me luck. That's going to be my winter project.
Oh, girl. All right. Well, let's get into grow lights first, because that's definitely going to like control a lot of your growth and how happy your plants are going to be.
Yeah, this is a big one. I feel like a lot of people spend a lot of time researching on grow lights, just in general. Like, there's so much to choose from. There's so many different words, watts and lumens, and what else? There's like something else. I can't remember.
I don't know, man. I get numbers thrown at me, and you're like losing me. I'm like, I don't know what kind of wattage I need. I don't know how far away it needs to be. I don't know anything.
And I know there's like a difference where you're supposed to be looking at this measurement and not this measurement, because it's about like your eyes. I don't know. Anyway, grow lights for your IKEA greenhouse cabinet.
Yeah, don't overcomplicate it for your IKEA greenhouse. Honestly, like you really just want something that's going to emit something on the daylight spectrum, and that isn't going to catch fire from being in a wet, humid greenhouse.
That's so important. Make sure it is something that can withstand moisture and wet environments.
Even if it's a little pricier, it's very much worth it.
Yeah. Right. Oh my God. Yeah. So please look into that first and foremost. I have purple lights in mine.
Cute.
Yeah, I love it. I don't like full bright white light in my house. It hurts my eyes. I'm really susceptible to migraines. So I got the purple lights. They have some that are like more dimmable, so you can turn on and off. So yeah. And another good thing too is you can get a little like timer for like a plug, and it will like auto shut off and auto shut on, like, which is really, or turn on, shut on. Turn on.
Great though. You literally don't have to think about it at all.
No.
You just set it to daylight hours and it does its job.
Yeah, it's awesome. So grow lights, there's those ones that are like almost like a sheet. It's called a sun blaster, but it's a sheet, and it's like these little dots of light from above. Depending on your cabinet, depending on, how many plants you have in there, you can have just one on the very top.
Yep. And then put, your sun lovers on top, and your plants that prefer like dappled light and live on the ground down on below.
You can do that. Or you can also get strips for each shelf. Is fine. That works too. Get something that has a really good adhesive tape, something that's weather resistant, because again, it's a moisture environment. So that tape that comes with your grow light, it's not going to hold on as well. I have one grow light that keeps like falling off. All the other ones are fine.
Just one.
It's just this one, and I need to get a new adhesive. There's this one that I found. It's called Bison Montage Kit Direct Tape.
That's quite a name.
Go figure. I don't know. Again, we'll link it. But that one I guess has really great reviews. It's kind of almost like a Gorilla tape, Gorilla glue,
Okay.
They make a tape, but I heard it's better than that one.
Okay. And then that's pretty useful for like not only putting up the light, but hooking up all the wires along the back to keep it nice and neat. And you can also drill holes in the back of your cabinet to run the wires through. Yeah. So there are a lot of like clever little tips and tricks that you can use to keep it looking like really clean and professional, even though you're adding your own modifications at home. Yeah, totally. Like you can have like really like a lot of fun like customizing how you want. And like, you said like you can put a hole in the back with the wires running out. Some of them actually the bottom lifts up, and you can just put the wires underneath that and then close it on it, and it actually like it's fine. There's enough space in between it that it's not like mushing the wires. Nice. It's for the tall skinny one that I have that. My short fat one, I have it actually running through the front outside the door, and it's fine because it doesn't like shut it completely like on the wires, but it still shuts the cabinet. Okay, nice. It like just barely makes it through then. Perfectly. Yeah. So it's not too bad. I have the humidifier and the grow light cable both coming out of it, and it's totally fine. And then you have a fan in one of them. Yeah. Right? So like how important is air circulation? Well, like I said, it's very important. You care about, the health of your plants. Your plants like to dance. They like to move in the wind and the air, right? Our plants, our trees, our shrubs, they all do that. They dance in the air. And the reason why they do that and they need that is because it helps create a stronger root structure. So it's important to have that airflow. It helps keep
pest away too as well, which is really important. I do have a couple fungus gnats in one of my cabinets, so I just, I treat. That's what you got to do. That's the nature of the beast, you know. You just got to treat it. More moisture brings more fungus, which brings fungus gnats. Like, that's just the fucking way it is. But there are a lot of different fans. You think of those fans that you like have in your car, a computer fan, those fans that you take to the theme park. Yeah. Those work fine, and they can be charged with a USB cable, by battery, by hooking up just with the cable and running it out the cabinet. There's so many options now, and they're cheap. You're looking anywhere between like $3, and you can go really fancy to like $30. Like, it's really up to you, again, with the aesthetic. I have one where you suction cup it to the side, so it's a car fan, and it's charged by USB, but you suction cup it and then you can just turn it on and off. So I have it on when the lights are on, and I have it off when the lights are off.
That's pretty cool. Okay.
But it's like only getting the top shelf. It's not getting the two bottom shelves, which is why I want to get that wire shelving.
Yeah, to increase that circulation. Yeah.
So what I end up doing is just moving the plants around so they get better circulation, and I don't want to do that. And I should just get more fans for the rest of the shelves, but because I want to get the wire shelves, I'm waiting. So
might as well. Honestly, I'm pretty lazy. I literally just open my cabinet doors. Yeah. I let it air out. Yeah. And like I said, it isn't weather sealed in any way. There isn't like a locking mechanism or anything like that. So there is pretty consistent airflow in mine. So it's really just figuring out like how much airflow you need for yours and whether a fan is required and how big it needs to be.
Yeah, totally. I feel like yours because yours is so big, you should get a little fan.
Yeah, probably.
I feel like yours would still benefit from it, like even more.
But I have like a 1/2 inch of space between my doors.
Yeah, but like it's not going through though.
That's true. It's not like...
It's getting fresh air, but it's not like moving the plants. Right. They're not dancing. They're getting the air, but they're like, turn this beat up. That's what they want.
They need to dance.
That's what mine are saying all the time. Like, bitch, I need to dance. I'm like, oh my God, okay. I'll turn it up.
All right. I'll be looking into fans too, and I'll make sure to link some down below so y'all can see just how many kind of options there are out there for you.
Yes. Let's talk humidity, the big one, right? This is why we buy these cabinets, because we want humidity. We want humidity controlling things to help give our humidity loving plants like a chance to live, right? We don't want our white fuchsias to keep dying.
Exactly. I still am yet to see a full grown white fusion. Let's go, y'all.
Still haven't. So again, this is where you can get creative. You can buy ones that are really small. You can buy top filling ones you got to take to the sink. You can buy really big bad boys. Whatever works for you. You can spend $200 on a nice humidifier, or you can spend $5 on one. Yep. It's really up to you. If anything though, you need to get an auto shut off humidifier. So once it reached that, humidity peak and what you set it to, great. That's what you need to get. If it's not an auto shut off one and it's just going constantly and it doesn't stop, your plants are going to be so wet and just dripping so I put mine in and refilled my LEVOIT. That's what I have. I refilled my LEVOIT and I had it on constant. I forgot to change the settings. So 20 minutes later, I look in my cabinet. It's just like a fucking cloud of like humidity. And I opened it and just the plants were just sopping wet. My Gloriosum was like, how could you do this to me? Oh, no. I was like, I'm sorry. Oh my God. Like, it was so traumatizing for me that I'm like so anal about it now. So get something with an auto shut off. Oh my God.
It just saves a lot of energy and time. Does. Like I said, originally my plant room had a humidifier with an auto shut off. Yeah. Now that I have a tiny one in my cabinet, it doesn't even run that long. Yeah. So I just take it out and charge it and have that as like a rest period and put it back in. Yeah. So an auto shut off really just takes away any of that thought process to it. Like you can just let it chill and do its thing, especially if you're going to put timed lights on your cabinet and you're going to try and make it like self-sustaining on a day-to-day. Totally. It's amazing.
Yeah. And a lot of them have hydrometers built into the humidifiers too. So you know what level you want it to be at, where it's like, I don't want it to get past 80. Otherwise, these will get root rot and die, and that's not good for your plants.
For sopping wet babes.
Patrick, our friend Patrick, who was on the season 2 finale. Hey, Patrick, we love you. He was actually the one who gave me the idea for this because he has one. And the way he does his humidity is he has a heat pad on the bottom for like seeds and stuff, starting seeds. And then he has like a plastic layout, also like a seed starter tray that he fills with water and then just evaporates.
Oh, nice.
But it's a whole bottom part
that you can't
doesn't
put
have any
plants
on. So you can do a pebble tray and still put plants on. I don't like pebble trays. It attracts fungus gnats. So another thing you can do if you want to do that is that little spice rack shelf I mentioned earlier. You can do that and put that over the mat, like the heat mat.
Oh.
And then put your plants on top. So it's like little alternating shelves if you want to do that. Or just underneath, like there's small enough ones that you could find. I'm sure that would fit under something like that.
Yeah.
So if you want to do that route and not have a humidifier, there's so many
ways.
options.
Like so many.
Yeah.
And by the way, you mentioned Patrick. I just want to say he did get his Hoya order from Russia.
Okay, should we talk about that?
Just really quick.
Really quick. Okay. Yes. So he reordered. So the person who sent him the Hoyas was like, felt so bad. And they're like, well, I don't mind trying again and I'll ship them out to you for free. And he got them within like 2 weeks and he got them all.
It's amazing. I'm still waiting for pictures, but he's out of state. He had a friend like unbox them for him. So they're getting air and getting light at home. But yeah, super happy ending to what was originally a really sad story.
I know. I know. He wanted us to make sure that everybody knew that the Hoyas are okay. They are alive and they've made it safely, and we really appreciate that. So
yeah, thanks for all your good vibes. All right,
we love good vibes.
The temperature in your greenhouse, especially somewhere like Colorado, we're going through a lot of fluctuation right now in temperature.
Yeah.
So around where do you want to keep it? I'm sure it can probably get pretty steamy in there.
Well, I mean, you don't want it to be hot, obviously. I mean, room temperature is great, but going into like the cold weather months, like if your cabinet is up against a window, you need to get something that is going to help regulate heat and temperature in there. So again, we mentioned a heat pad. You want to get a heat pad. Like if you're going to keep it up against a window, you're going to want to get a heat pad because your babies will get cold. So, I mean, and you can put, if you don't want to put it just like on the bottom part of the shelf, what you can do is if you get wire shelving, you can literally take that heat mat and you can zip tie it to the wire shelf, and then that heat's going to go both directions from the middle. So it's going to go bottom and up. So that is like the best way to get some heat in there.
That's cool. Okay.
Otherwise, that's really like the only thing you can really do. You can get a fan and you can help kind of fan it out a little bit too, just to help with the regulation of the heat throughout the cabinet. But you do want to have it not be super hot either. Like I wouldn't personally put it up right against a window because it's magnifying the sun's rays. And then your plants are pretty much getting extra light. And these are plants that don't necessarily want it. Like the plants that you would put in it, right? Like we're thinking like philodendrons, anthurium. Those guys don't like bright indirect light. So while it might be indirect, with that extra magnification of that glass, it could possibly do some leaf damage. So just think about that, where you want to put it. I would not suggest by a window.
Yeah, especially like they like the same temperature as you do. So if it's gonna be really cold by your window and they're gonna be cold, like you're gonna be cold, they are too.
Totally.
Like just treat them right.
Let's talk about what plants we have in our cabinet.
Okay.
What, you want to go first?
Sure. I only have one, and I did like downsize my collection quite a bit when I moved it outside. So moving from the top to the bottom, I currently have a Florida Beauty, which is doing really good, a little Birkin, a Rhaphidophora decursiva, which is currently putting out a new leaf, so we're excited about that. Pretty. A Pink Princess, which I'm not going to lie, was really suffering before it was put in the cabinet. It's doing a lot better now that it's in there, so the extra humidity definitely helped. A Squamiferum that I think is going to outgrow the cabinet very quickly, so I'm a little worried about that. A Philodendron Mayoi that I got from Grace that is doing pretty well. A Ziltspicana, a Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and that one's another one that's on a moss pole, so it's in like a larger gap. It's doing pretty good. A tiny little Atabapoense that I got from Madison. And then a little rehab painted lady I got from our friend Amanda, who's Denver Greenhouse on Instagram.
Yeah.
That like I'm hoping is going to do a little better in the case because her leaves are a little wonky. She's got some wonk.
That's awesome.
What about you? What do you have? Because you have two of them.
Yeah, so I'll make this quick. My tall and skinny case, I have my Philodendron melanochrysum, my variegated burl marks, and my apopap. Wait, say it for me.
Atabapoense.
Thank you. And then I can't. I'm sorry. My pink princess is in there. My Rhaphidophora crimphantha. My micans. I have a Stanleyana. I have an orchid, a rare orchid that I'm growing. A gloriosum, a trubii, moonlight, and a golden hammerhead. So all of those are in the tall, skinny one. My short, fat one that has my Anthurium clarinervium, my Anthurium forgetii. It has 4 orchids, a pastazanum, a Florida, a ring of fire, a painted lady, a black magic, a Thai constellation, and a varicosum.
Damn, girl.
So those are a lot, right? Like just for each cabinet, you can fit a lot in there. And I could actually fit like probably in each one in like 4-inch pots, probably like 6 more plants.
Oh, yeah. You can fit more in there, especially depending
Yeah.
on how tall they are. I would say like height is your biggest.
Height's the only thing,
Yeah.
but you can adjust the shelves over time and put your big daddies on the bottom if you want, or vice versa. Like you really can do whatever with this. And that's like really the beauty of the greenhouse cabinet from IKEA, is that you can just be so creative and like, you know, get your hands dirty in a sense where it's like you're building something. Like, I think that's one of my favorite things about plants is like, you know, you buy shelves and then you buy grow lights to go on the shelves, and then you get kind of like, okay, have you seen Rachel from Heart Shaped Leaves? She has a shower curtain around like these shelves to keep the humidity.
That's smart.
It's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it's smart. I mean, our friend Mickey used to like, he would get Rubbermaid plastic bins and use those and just drill some holes in the top.
Yeah.
Or like even stuff you would get at the grocery store, like roast chicken plastic containers.
Wait, what?
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And then you just clean them out really well, and you've got like the lid over the top, and you can just drill holes in that.
Oh my God, that is so smart.
You can literally do anything, and the IKEA greenhouse is basically just taking that idea to like a more aesthetically pleasing level, if you will.
Yes, totally. That's the beauty of it. You can just have so much fun and just make it your own. Like you can set it up how you want to beginning, but like I said, like I want to add stuff to it. I want to change stuff around. I want to, you know, take stuff out, put stuff in. I recently took out my Queen of Chiang Mai, which is now doing like, it's doing amazing. I just put it in there because I wanted to put it in there. It didn't need to be put in there, but it put out aerial roots.
Oh.
My plants have so many long aerial roots. My painted lady is just like up and down. It's all aerial roots.
She feels that moisture.
It's so cool. It's so cool to see.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't think that would have happened if it was just sitting outside. Like, it was fine before, but like ever since it's gone in the cabinet, it's like big giant leaves, and the variegation is beautiful, the aerial roots, and I'm just like, wow.
It's like magic.
It is. It makes me so happy.
I know.
It makes me, and then I can take cuttings from it, and I can give cuttings to people if if I'm feeling generous. I don't fucking know. Or maybe I want a bushiest plant. I don't know.
Or maybe we're doing auctions for
Maybe
plants
we're doing
create
auctions.
change, and we need cuttings. You don't know.
I don't know. Shoot.
Honestly, it's amazing, and I really, really do love mine, and the investment, I do think it was worth it.
Yeah.
And if any of our listeners have IKEA greenhouse cabinets, I would love to see them, whether they're from IKEA or not.
Yeah. Show us your greenhouses, your homemade greenhouses at home. Well, if it's in a rotisserie chicken container or not.
Let's go.
I want to see them. And you can actually see ours. So if you go on our YouTube channel, at the end of this video, we're actually doing a bonus video. Bonus, where we're going to do a little mini tour of how we have ours set up, and then, obviously talk about what we want to change and what plants we have in there, where they're sitting at. So if you want to see that and see, we're actually doing a video cast right now too. You can check us out on our YouTube channel at Two Girls One Plant Podcast.
And of course, you can always find us on Instagram at Two Girls One Plant Podcast. We also have our personal accounts linked on there, as well as our Kickstarter, which is still going through the month. So make sure to check that out. And a huge thank you to everybody that has donated so far. We were honestly blown away. This is being recorded only a few days after we launched.
24 hours.
Yeah.
We started 24 hours ago.
It's incredible, honestly.
It's been amazing, the support everyone's given. So please go donate to that. We'll link that below as well.
And thank you all for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Go buy an IKEA greenhouse cabinet if you can, if it's available.
Enjoy. We'll talk to y'all next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was a fun episode, and we could not have done it without Gabriella Plants. They provide high-quality tropicals straight from their greenhouse to your door. Their inventory drops every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time and 8 p.m. Eastern Time at GabriellaPlants.com. Set your timers and don't miss out. So this is one of my cabinets. I have two. This is the tall one, and as you can see, I have grow lights on top of all the shelves. I have yet to put my fans in. I have my hydrometer here, and then down here on the bottom shelf is my LEVOIT humidifier, which I love. And I got all a bunch of like my little rare guys in here. As you can see, it's 70% humidity down here, and then up top it's about 50%, which these plants don't really need a whole lot of humidity, if any. But everything's really happy. You can see some stuff like has aerial roots growing. But yeah, so this is cabinet number one. Ooh, and we're getting a mist shop. Oh, here we go. Yes, we got some mist in the shot. And then this one is cabinet number two. This one is in my bedroom. This one has the Tao humidifier in it. I don't have a hydrometer in this one. I do want to get one. But I have mostly like my anthuriums and my orchids in here, and I have some philodendron and colocasia. But yeah, this is the second one. So this is the shorter, fatter one of the two. And I'm obsessed with it. It does have grow lights on it. So I put, I'll show you, one grow light there and then one grow light here. So it's like kind of like alternating. And then I did the same for the bottom right here. And I fill up the humidifier probably like, I don't know, once a week, maybe a week to 10 days. So yeah. I'm obsessed with it. Highly recommend if you can get your hands on one. All right, thanks.
Okay, so here's a very quick look at my little IKEA greenhouse, even though I didn't get it at IKEA. As you can see, it is pretty tall, and I do have Halloween decorations up there, so don't judge me, it is fall. Here is the little humidifier I was talking about in the video. It's pretty powerful, but it doesn't have a hygrometer built in, so I do have to keep an eye on how much humidity there is in here. Also, it's not sealed like I mentioned, so humidity does escape out of the middle. Now, don't judge me, but I know that these are wooden shelves, so I will be working to upgrade these soon. I have up here just a little Monstera Standeliana, a Rhaphidophora decursiva, a Philodendron Golden Goddess, and down here just a little Philodendron Birkin from a friend of mine. Here is my pink princess. She was actually really unhappy before I put her in here, but now she's put out a couple of leaves, so keeping my fingers crossed. And then a Philodendron Florida Beauty with a little Black Lives Matter sigil in there, which I think is super duper cute. Down here I've got a Philodendron Moe putting out a new leaf, so hopefully that goes well. A itty bitty painted lady, and then you can see right now it's 62% humidity in there, which is great. and a little Monstera Siltepecana. I don't have any lights in there like I mentioned. I do get lighting from all around, so pretty sweet. Don't look too closely at my house, it's a mess. But yeah, that's kind of it. That's my really easy peasy IKEA greenhouse.